Okay, isn't the slideshow mirror? No.
Yes.
Is correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, my name is Kelly Mara, and I'm from Portugal. Do you see the slides? And the slides are moving, okay?
Yeah, right.
Correct?
Great.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. My name is Tiago Oliveira, and I'm here to speak about how Portugal made this process to move from a civil protection system towards an integrated fire management system. I've planned this presentation for 25 minutes. I will speak slowly for the translation to occur, so it will take a little bit more. Okay, I'm a forest engineer with a PhD in forest engineering. My experience is grounded on 30 years of experience in national and international contexts, both in public and private sector. I worked from forest fire operator to researcher to administration and in the topics of wildland fire risk management and governance. After the Portuguese fire crisis that occurred in 2017, I was invited by the Prime Minister to implement the Portuguese national fire system. And my information is on that board. You can see the links. I will share the presentation after the slideshow. Okay. Well, we had this crisis in 2017. More than 120 people lost their lives. More than 500,000 hectares went burned. It's about 60% of the country. It was a big commotion, as you might imagine. We had 2 independent technical commissions in the parliament that collect information and present a report that was later approved by all parties in the parliament. So the Prime Minister had a chance to say, okay, this is to implement the report in the full status. Of course, that we had previous fire events, 1991, 1995, 1991, 1995, 2003, 2005, 2013, and they all showed that suppression solution on investing in suppression will not be sufficient. So this in 2017, Portuguese society, the politicians, they were fully engaged in investing also in prevention. Okay? Well, but fires depends on the context. Fire per se does not exist in nature. It requires combustibility, precipitation, ignition, hot, and oxygen. So it needs to all be together between demographic, environmental, cultural dimension, and all these economical and social dimensions. It is also important to know that in Portugal, 97% of the land is private. It's also important that it's a long process. After the last century, we have had a big afforestation program in place, and that made also possible this rural exodus, which later on changed things Korea after the 50s, and you had a country that has now a lot of trees and a lot of fuel, and you need to live with a different type of fire regime. Portugal is a small country on the west coast of Europe, but 60.5 million hectares can sustain fire. It's 97% of the forest is privately owned. It's a Mediterranean climate and with a high primary productivity. About 15 days of the summer are high fire days. But another issue is that 12% of wild-urban interface represents roughly 1.5 million hectares, and this poses a different threat. People can lose their lives due to fire beyond losing the forests, and that is a thing that happens also in Europe, that is going to be more exposed with fires in the future. So civil protection systems will be more exposed to deal with the fire than people, and also the same fire destroying the woodlands. What were the 2017 main points? Lack of prevention due to agricultural abandonment, ineffective flood management, reduced management of forest lands, poor surveillance, inability of all year, resources adjustments, problems with suppression, out-of-date communication. Population wasn't aware of the best practices in case of a wildfire. Problems on doing MOPA because the fire brigades are highly dependable on water pumps and the presence of water. Problems on post-fire vigilance, so we had a lot of rekindles. And the qualification, knowledge, governance, those problems receive a full consensus in the Portuguese society. But with the Prime Minister, Minister of Economy, Minister of Defense, Minister of Agriculture, David Photo, we gathered a scientific community that traveled from abroad, Australia, South Africa, Chile, Brazil, Spain, Canada, United States, and they explained to the politicians the problem we were. It's very important, this benchmark, face to face. Other nations explaining their problem and how they solve it, or they are trying to solve it, to the politicians that they have the power to solve. And of course, they give us capabilities to implement the system. We were allowed to bring experts from abroad that they train the National Guards by the Chilean Forest Fire. South Africans explain the way they protect programs on engaging communities. Those were the two examples. But it takes a lot of time. Sorry for this slide being written in Portuguese, but it only shows that there is the idea, then the change of legislation, then the change of resources, budget, and also the planning and the programming. So we have this crisis 2017, and the National Fire Strategy or the National Fire Plan was only implemented, started to be implemented, fully approved in 2020. But meanwhile, we made a lot of changes also. But the critical issue that the AGIF is the Portuguese Agency for Integrated Fire Management, where I'm the chairman of the board, was empowered to do the strategic coordination, the monetization of the results and program management, because different ministries, different entities, and we were dependent on the top man of the government. We were a super ministerial entity, so we could speak with both ministers anytime and to promote the program management control. And this is really important because it's high-level political endorsements, and it's paramount for the success of this cross-sectoral governance. I'm not dealing only with the suppression. I'm not dealing only with fiscal, with criminal, whatever. I'm dealing with different approaches. And what we need is to see the problem in a whole of a government approach. And because this problem brings urban interface and forest management that are two objectives that are occurring and are threatening at the same time, and they need to deal with different tools. For protecting a house, I need fire brigades with structural training. For defending a forest, I need firefighters with hand tools, bulldozers, with a strategy using incident command system, for example, with a long period of activity, and so forth. You know, but AGIF is located there in the middle of the government, bringing together first conservation authority that is responsible nowadays to reduce the forest loss and nature and the emission of CO2, so deals with all the forest management. And on the other side, it's civil protection. That is objective is to protect life and property, and also to be responsible to manage the suppression system, but with the information of the forest entity, and also information and knowledge. All the other entities in different ministries support the system. We have a national board, a regional board, sub-regional board. But we need to make a quick fix after 2017 because the fire season, 2018 fire season, was there to be happening. So we need to reduce emissions, we need to protect people and ensure evacuations, to reinforce the suppression of resources, to manage the flow around the critical places, roads, critical infrastructures, around the critical villages that were more prone to fire, and also apply knowledge, operational decision making, and communicate and engage with the population all the time. At the same time, we were putting the cohesive national fire plan in place, aggregating all entities, calling them together, focus on the leadership, having a vision for the country. In 2030, it's Portuguese protected for severe fire events. And of course, this needs to have I would say, a theory of change. Instead of just putting money in suppression of fires, with fire brigades, with helicopters, with all the technology, we need to put money in the value rural areas. If you value rural areas, you are more dedicated to the forest management because you have more. If you do that, you reduce you change the behaviors of the citizens. If you change the behavior of the citizens, you will have fewer fires. If you have fewer fires, you have more resources per fire. Later on, reduce the probability of escape of large fires. And this go on and on. But you can see everything is written in English in this site. And you can see the outcomes. The national plans unfolded 5 regional plans. These 5 regional plans unfolds in 23 subregional plans, and then the municipalities implement the plan. It's flexible, adaptive, policy-centric governance, and an ex-sectoral engagement. Of course, these plans has a lot of goals and objectives. You have 4 objectives: valuing rural spaces, managing the lands, modifying the behaviors, and manage the risk efficiently. So this again is in Portuguese, so I don't have an English version. But all these objectives have goals, and those goals are being tracked and with critical KPIs. We are a coordinating entity, and all the processes are detailed in the grants. But going back to the concrete activities, I do recommend to you, if you are able to have this book translated to Korean or read it in English, it's the privacy, Stephen G. Park. And he says that fire synthesized context, which means in a hotter and drier flammable landscape, you need to deal with people. You need to deal with the landscape. You need to adapt and prepare institutions and also developments. I'm going to show you what have we done. Okay? We engage people. How? And we reduced the number of fires by half since 2017 with the National Awareness Campaign, kids sensibilization. We provide alternatives to agriculture bans. We have bird purpose performance. We support shepherds. We have a call center. We send text messages in critical days, surveillance patrol, and the number of fires that start by regular fire use reduced by 47%. The arson is reduced by 46%. And it is big achievements because in this way we are going to have more than double of the suppression resources per fire, which is important to note. We have a national campaign that brings increase the value of the forest, explain the value of the forest for the kids, for the rural citizens, promotes to promote their change behavior. The campaign is called Portugal Calls. This is the example of the call center where the farmers need to call to ask permission to do the birds. And when the critical period happens, it is on, for example, 1 of July until 30th of September, you see that you don't have no calls, but you know that very few fires occur. But what we observe is that before and after the fire ban period, you have fire activity, which is good because people are using fire to remove the debris. We have a portal for everyone, so any citizen wants to have can read it. We have these slides show very commercials on the TV, on the bus stops, on the trains to inform people, and other details that you can Google and see in the sites you might have. Another important issue was about to prepare a small village for fires that could come from outside of those villages that are encouraged by vegetation. The objective of Civil Protection Authority that nowadays also is engaged on doing prevention is to establish this property, this safe village, safe people, a program in 7,000 locations. So far they have achieved 2,396, where they have one person that is responsible when the fire occurs to call all the citizens to a safe place, and if that safe place is not safe because the fire might be in the surroundings, they will be evacuated in the faster. Another important issue is also the property boundaries. North of Portugal, we don't have registers of the lands, so it is impossible to make the forest owners accountable for their forest management programs. So we have a satellite imagery, LiDAR maps that are allowing us to do who belongs to who. It takes a long, it's a lot of more than 11 million registers, but they are need to maps until until the end of this decade. The second issue that we need to do if you want to change the context where the fire occurs beyond altering the behavior of the citizens is to change the type of landscape. Promote improve civiculture, species selection, landscape planning, land use restrictions, economic and physical regulation, agroforestry transition, specific funding, and also for environmental services. But beyond that, we need to build fuel breaks, build linear buffers around wild urban interface, around roads, prescribe burning, oriented grazing, burning with shepherds. We are below the objective here. We are monitoring the objectives, and we are below. We should be doing food reducing 1 million hectares, and we are only doing 24,000. And also, we are doing prescribed burning in natural parks, promoting shepherds, for example. And we have a lot of machinery out there doing fuel stripes, treating the land, otherwise it will burn. But what we are really hoping is that this machinery and this recovery of woodlands brings more people, more economic activity, and also they will be more engaged in forestry, not only agriculture, but on forestry. The third aspect that we need to change is to alter the institutional approach, moving from a silo to a whole of a government. Of course, we have created an integrated rural management system with legislation that will have a 6-phase plan, governance, prevention, waste suppression, and post-fire. We consolidated AGIF as a strategic coordinating authority and also strengthen regional capabilities and sub-regional levels of planning and budgeting. These are the strategic goals that I explained to you. You can read everything in that site. And we report to the government and to the parliament every year the evolution of the KPIs. This is the money that we are spending. These are the projects that we are tracking under each objective. And these are the results. Okay? This year, and in the last 2 years, the current area is increasing, also due of problems with having fewer fires but bigger ones. Some are started by rekindles, and some are not fought effectively, and others occurs because the land has not been treated, so the fuel is there, it burns. But we are spending more money since 2017, 12 times more money in prevention, and we are spending nowadays 630 million euros. Okay? But as we are arriving to the midterm assessment of, we are doing this midterm assessment with the OECD. So what we are aiming on doing that is to try to understand why is the system underperforming. Of course, we have some clues. It is important that all team understand what is happening and what are the incentives need to be in place. But so far, we have reduced the number of fatalities and the number of fires, but the burnt area is speaking above the objectives. What are the challenges ahead for Portugal? Some are strategical, some are political, some goes with managerial. But what we need to do is to keep the focus, keep the steering, keep direction, and then promote institutional trust and political culture that are critical, but also have cohesive strategies. But in a nutshell, another thing that is helping a lot, and I would like to have Korean flag here to develop MOU with Portugal in order to promote international cooperation, of course. But one thing that has been happening in Europe is Portugal and Spain are not alone in this integrated fire management approach. Other countries are coming because international activities and international reports are suggesting that we need to move towards an integrated fire management governance system. Well, to conclude, if you want to move from a reactive civil protection or a forest-based, highly strong suppression system towards a proactive integrated fire management, you need to recognize that it's not a civil protection problem, recognize the governance deficits, and also promote more active management of forests, fire, different and close vehicles, and also integrate knowledge, refit procedures, and promote standards of ability. But one thing I'm fully positive, you need to have political commitment to do an integrated fire management because it takes time, it brings a lot of change in the system. But you need also to ensure that Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Environment, and Minister of Energy, they are speaking the same language. We believe that the European Union should have a fire management system. We also want to build up an European wildfire interaction because it will help us put our system in place. And of course, this will take away if we don't. No country is able to have all the knowledge and all the resources to tackle wildfires. So we need to cooperate with our neighbors or with our friends, for example, the Koreans, because our fire seasons are in the opposite. We are starting our fire season, we are in our off the season. So we can share the resources, human knowledge, technology, suppression of resources, and also experience, because no country is able to solve this by itself. And if you reduce suppression costs, you can invest more in prevention. Well, to conclude, I would like you to exhibit this graph. This is the amount of energy that is being released by a fire that can be stopped. Okay, in a day with a very high danger fire day, but not extreme days. In those extreme days, if you don't have the fuel below 8 tons of biomass per hectare, you probably will not, you can't fight that fire on the head. You need to wait for the right moment to close it, to extinguish that fire. So, if you want to protect your forests, you need to burn them during the winter time using prescribed burning, or improve your silviculture methods, or change the density. But you can also have these two types of animals, plus pigs and cows, in order to reduce the fine and sugar fuels. So stay focused and use your best fire friends forever. Thank you.
질의응답을 좀 받아보도록 하겠습니다. 그 앞에 단상에 있는 마이크를 켜시면 마이크가 나오는데요. 오늘 질의응답을 좀 간단히 해주시고요. 마이크 소리가 좀 작아가지고 안 들릴 수도 있는데 일단은 질의응답을 마이크를 켜고 해주시면 될 것 같습니다.
Hi, I'm going to speak in English and Korean. I think I speak for everybody here when I say we thank you for your commitment to tackle fires, and we have learned a lot from your integrated approach to tackle wildfires. Thank you very much. 저는 HSINC에서 나왔습니다. 미국 기반의 산불 지원제 업체인 코모도의 국내 에이전시인데요. 그래서 아무래도 질문은 포르투갈에서 산불 지원제를 쓴 적이 있는지에 대해서 여쭙고 싶습니다. So my question here is, have you ever used fire retardant? Because I'm representing a company that is supplying fire retardant to US, and we are trying to penetrate Korean government as well. So I wanted to know if you have any experience of using fire retardant in Portugal?
Fire retardant was used in Portugal in the 80s when the forest techniques were widely used. But during the 80s and the 90s, civil protection and fire brigades took control of the system and they preferred direct attack suppression techniques. So the retardants were not used anymore. But in the last 3 years, we are starting to have capabilities of the crews to use more indirect attack techniques, and they are recognizing that the retardants might be useful to protect houses, to reduce the flanks of the fire, to allow more opportunities to suppression resources. And we bought two systems to be used in the C-130 Lockheed Martin airplane, to have a large air tanker to be able to do some drops in flat or rugged terrain, and they will have retardants applied. We also have air tractors that were tested the retardant in this fire season. So we are starting to use it, but we do know that retardant use is very demanding because it's costly and it requires a full coordinating system with very intelligent and knowledgeable crews and incident command system. And we have a lot of way to be capable on using that costly activity effectively.
답이 되셨나요?
Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
네, 안녕하십니까. 이번에 우리나라 3월 달에 산불에서는 이 통신체계가 작동이 안 돼가지고 지휘체계가 먹통이 됐다고 할 정도로 굉장히 안타까웠는데, 혹시 포르투갈에서도 위성이나 또 그 어떤 지휘 항공기 등 이러한 거를 이용을 해가지고 통신체계를 갖다가 실시간으로 어떻게 유지가 되고 있는지, 또 원활하게 잘 유지가 되는지 설명을 부탁드리겠습니다.
The question is, can you repeat the question?
Mr. Tiago, Mr. John wanted to know the communication method applied in Portuguese the fire situation. In particular, in the aerial mission.
I'll do.
And the satellite and other the radio program. How can you address the communication issues in the case of the fire? Thank you.
Well, but it's a communication of teams or communication with the citizens?
Communication with the firefighter.
Well, the communication with the firefighters, we had a poor system in 2017 using, we call it CRES, but it's a digital radio network that was reinforced with portable repeaters that are deployed in conventional fires in order to ensure that the communications do not saturate and all resources of the fire can communicate with that radius. And that radius, they have a GPS locator also. And they proved to work well with this fix that was done. So the communication between the fire brigades is not a problem, and they communicate quite well, and the instructions for suppression for the teams are being transmitted quite well nowadays.
Sorry. sorry, I couldn't deliver the correct message from the Mr. Chan. He wanted to know the communication method they applied in the aerial mission. Helicopter and the fixed wing, they need to communicate smoothly in the case of a fire in the sky.
Well, there are communication networks between radio from air frequencies, depending on the location where the airplanes are flying, but they communicate between the air channels, and they communicate air to ground with also air frequency. I think it's 129.5 megahertz. It's standard. Is that correct?
네, 혹시 더 질문?
예, 우리 학생들도 있는데 하시고요. 한국말로 해도 다 통역이 될 것 같아요. 저도 한번 한국말로 이야기를 하는데 잘 전달되는지 한번 체크를 해야 될 것 같아요. 프레젠테이션 한 내용 중에서 제 흥미를 끄는 거는 prescribed burning, 또 사전 입파거든요. 사실은 한국에서는 사전 입파, prescribed burning을 하진 않습니다. 특히 이제 아까 프레젠테이션 화면에서 나오는데 숲에 내에서도 불태우기, 사전에 불태우기 작업을 하는데 그런 경험들이 한국에 필요한데 실제로 그런 숲 내에서 사전 입파를 통해서 산불 강도를 줄이고 또 파이어 스프레드를 줄이는데 많이 활용되는 좀 사례를 좀 알려주시면 좋을 것 같습니다. 이상입니다.
So you want to speak about the prescribed burning?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Prescribed burning is a very effective technique for reducing the pine needles, to reduce the fine fuels and also the shrub fuels in the open grasslands or in shorelands. But you need to have critical meteorological windows. It cannot be very dry, it can be wet. So, and you need to deploy and develop proper techniques. And it's very good for the firefighting crews to use prescribed burning during the winter time, because they will train, they will learn with fire, they will build up their leadership, they will test the radio, they will test the engines, and they will build up team spirit. We are burning 5 to 8,000 hectares a year. We want to double, and the Minister of Agriculture give that instructions to the Forest Service, and we aim to burn at least 20,000 hectares a year, which will be very demanding because the meteorological window to do it during the winter time is roughly about a month, not of consecutive days, but several intermediate days. We are also trying to put in the suppression culture that there are fires that are not behaving so severe that we will need to let them burn during the shrubs if they are doing good for the nature, good for the biodiversity. They are burning miles during the night. We are trying to say to civil protection, leave those fires to burn because they are doing a good action with the land. That might be useful before the critical months and during the the early days in October. So it's a good technique. It demands some legislation change also, but people are understanding that you need to treat the land, you need to reduce the fuel load, you need to reduce the density of the stands, you need to remove the lead of fuels, you need to remove the grasses, the needles, and the shrubs. Otherwise, in those critical days, if you have more than 8 to 10 tons of shrubs where the fire is burning and the day is very dry and very windy, the suppression limits will be overpassed and the resources to suppress the fire will be ineffective. And you are putting the firefighters in a very risky conditions. So if you want to manage the fuel, if you want to manage the fire behavior, you need to manage the fuel load ahead of the fire. That is the most important issue.
Thank you for the good advice.
의장님 한 번만 질문 더 할까요?
짧게.
2027년도 2월부터 우리 한국에서는 최초로 공군 C-130 수송기에 마프 시스템이 장착되어 산불에 투입이 됩니다. 우리 전문가께서 보시기에 우리 한국에서 마프 시스템이 운영이 되면은 어떠한 기대가 되는지 그거에 대해서 설명 좀 부탁합니다.
I understood that you are going to have the Air Force working, but I didn't understood doing what.
Yeah. He wanted to have your opinion about Korea's plan to introduce the fixed wing called the C-130 with the big size of the water tank inside. From 2027, Korean government will dispatch the fixed wing aircraft to suppress the fire.
The Chinook.
No, not Chinook. Chinook is rotary, but the C-130 is a fixed wing airplane.
Oh, with the turbines.
With the water tank inside the airplane.
Okay. About the airplanes and about the helicopters, my understanding. Well, I went to Korea in 2015, and in the Congress, International Urban Fire Congress, that we organized one in Portugal. You organized the 6th, we organized the 8th. And I traveled for 1 or 2 days in those study tours of the Congress. And what I saw in your terrain is a steep, high mountains, very forested lands with a lot of shrubs, with very dense forests. I don't know how is going to be the future about climate change. I didn't study Korea, but I remember that if you have very hot days, as we have 40 degrees, with moisture below 20%, then we have these heat waves that took us 20 days with nights without any moisture, with windy conditions. The air resources, they are useless. They can be used in initial time when the fire have 30 Otherwise, in steep terrain, in very dense forests, very flammable landscape, you are doomed to fail if you are only betting in suppression. The fire will have will be a way of extinguishing power. You cannot extinguish that fire. The only way is that you need to manage the resources wisely. You need to use preventive actions. The air resources will be useful to deploy personnel for critical locations where the vegetation was treated during the winter time, and if the fire is not spotting, you might be able to, with the dozers, with the crews on the ground, with backfiring techniques, you might be capable on stopping that fire. The climate changes a lot. It's more drier, more hotter, and the capability to suppress the fire with the water, it's very limited. So the solution is to remove the fuel away from the flames. You know, fire is transmitted through convection, radiation, and direct contacts. Everything is hot, everything is drier, so it's very easy that pyrolysis, it's a chain reaction. You only stop the chain reaction if you put water to reduce the heat transfer. But if the heat transfer is too much, the water probably will evaporate. So the only way to stop the reaction is to cut the possibility of the heat to be transmitted through convective and through radiance and through direct contact with the flames, with the fuel. So cut the line, put a dozer, or burn the vegetation in the backfire, or better, reduce the fuel load during the winter time. It's much more effective. And of course, it means that you need to have people living near a forest during the winter time. Probably there are not enough people, and that are a different problem. But the suppression resources, they only fly during the day. Probably the conditions to extinguish that fire are going to occur during the night. And it's very, very, very risky only to bet on the goalkeeper if you want to win the game.
Okay. Thank you.
네, 시간이 경과가 돼서 질의응답을 이만 마치는 걸로 하겠습니다. 네, 혹시 또 추가 질의 있으신가요? 아, 네.
Hello, Dr. Diego. Thank you for your impressive presentation. I'm a college student who is introducing about AI technology. As we all know, today's theme of the forum today is about introducing science in preventing forest fire. And my question is that, as we all know, these days the AI technology is changing all over the world, and a lot of field and a lot of expertise is introducing AI technology in their working. So my question is that, what kind of effect are you expecting when introducing AI technology in preventing fire, and what kind of effort is Portugal government is doing? Thank you.
Okay, the technology will be very useful to reduce the several inefficiencies and to reduce the overall costs. For example, in prevention, you can, with technology, use fire modeling in order to have decision supporting systems to help you to select what might be the most effective place where you can make a fire break where you can do a prescribed burning in order to maximize the costs of fire investing in treating that forest. You can treat 1,000 hectares of the forest, but you can treat well 200 hectares. But where are those hectares need to be located that will give you the most opportunity to fight that fire effectively? So the technology might help you there. The technology will also help you for sure mapping, knowing the vegetation, knowing the fuel loads, knowing if the perimeter of a village has been the fuel were reduced, or also helping you to have a better maps, more accurate maps that later on inform the incident command system, and later on will give you a good capabilities to better decide. Technology can help you communicating with the citizens, inform, building up early warning systems with good lookup towers, with remote detection systems. Technology can help you a lot. Robotics, I believe that it will help you to treat the fuel in the forest. Intelligence, artificial intelligence will help you to better understand where are the fires more probable to occur in the following days due to climate conditions or to concentrations of people in the camping grounds or whatever. It will help you to better decide, but it will not decide by you. At the end of the day, you are the one that need to decide where are you going to put your money. Are you going to invest all in suppression, or are you going to balance your budgets? And if you balance your budget, more money in prevention, who are the citizens that you are going to inform, to educate? Those that live in the urban areas and travel to the rural areas in the critical days, or those that are living in the rural areas and stay in the rural areas in the critical days. So technology will help you for sure. Technology will help you to do more effective airdrops with forward-looking infrared systems that integrate the systems that allows you to do automatic water drops, and probably the helicopters will fly without crews. It's happening in the United States. They are doing tests of the Black Hawk flying at night with no pilots, dropping water. Every time the drones will have you doing a more vigilant mop-up operation, for example. But if you don't remove the fuel load and the fire occurs in those critical days, again, it will burn. So technology might help you to put the sheep, goats, cows in critical locations to do the grazing without the shepherd, because they will have a collar with GPS. The drones will help the sheep and goats to go for critical places. Of course, we can use technology, but again, the problem is not managing the consequence. It's dealing with the causes of the fire. And the causes of the fire is abandonment, it's rural depopulation, is lack of economic stimulus, is lack of health, is lack of civic culture. And there is the problem. Citizens that live in the cities, that used to live in the rural areas, they need to pay more money for the services that are being provided by the rural areas, by the water quality, and they need to put that money back to the lands to make more economical conditions to attract young people to live on the rural areas and to live from the rural areas resources. So it's a more complex issue than just technology. It's a complex system, and a complex system you can solve complex systems with simple solutions. And those social ecological systems that are based with human behavior, that are based with economical drivers, they are social systems. So you need to engage people, you need to have social engineering on the ground, supported by technology. But technology per se is an enabler, it's not the solution, it's not the last part of the puzzle. It's one of the pieces, but not the only one.
Okay, thank you. You have many things to share with us. You need to go and you need to visit the Korea in the
Yes,
coming
I'm
years.
available, but I was able to travel this time because I was very busy
Now,
in European conference and also in the COP30. But now, as
no problem.
our winter is coming,
I know you are busy with the COP30, and the next time I will
travel to Korea
invite.
to better understand and to share resources in the near future between Portugal and Korea, and to better understand how can we help each other.
Okay, thank you. And our conference program is running out of time. Thank you for the keynote speech.
네, 피아고 올리베 박사님 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 먼저 그 대명 하이테크의 박종민 대표님이 어렵게 참석을 해주셨습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 다음은 미래의 주인공인 청소년들의 영어 스피치가 준비되겠습니다. 학생들은 국제 통번역 자원 봉사단에서 활동하고 있는 유능한 학생들이고요.
See you next time. See you in Korea soon.
See you. Thank you.
네, 유능한 학생들이고 많이 떨릴 것 같은데 큰 박수로 환영해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Recording stopped.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lee Hae-eun, and I am the Education Director of International Volunteer Organization. I'm truly honored to serve as a host for today's youth speech session. 4 teams will share their ideas for stopping forest fire. Since we don't have enough time, we'll just start right away. Now, please welcome our first presenters to the stage. Our first speakers are Hyun Ji-hyo and Kim Ju-ha. The title of their speech is scientific technology, and human awareness. 2 keys to stop wildfires. Please welcome them with a big round of applause. Ready? Go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ji-Yo Hyun, and I'm a 6th grade student at Daedong Elementary School. Hi, my name is Chu-Ha Kim, and I'm also a 6th grade student at Queen Elementary School. It is a great honor to be here today and talk about something so important for our Earth. Over $140 billion, over 100,000 hectares, over 50,000 people. Can you guess what these numbers represent? In 2025 alone, Los Angeles lost $140 billion because of wildfires. Korea lost 100,000 hectares of land because of wildfires. 50,000 people in Turkey evacuated because of wildfires. These days, wildfires are getting bigger and faster. Especially this year, we often saw the news, mountains burning, animals running away, and people losing their homes. When we saw the news, we felt very sad. And we asked ourselves, how can we stop wildfires from happening again and again? Now we live in the age where science and technology can help us protect nature. It can track the wind, the weather, and the temperature. It can warn us when there is a danger. By creating smart ideas and better systems, we can stop big fires before they start. That's why studying and sharing new ideas about wildfires like you are doing today is so meaningful. When adults pay attention to nature, when you protect the mountains and the forests, we learn from you. We learn what true care looks like. You make us believe we can do the same by taking actions like planting trees and raising wildfire awareness on social media. So, we have one message today. Technology and awareness must work together. Technology helps us find answers. Awareness helps us care and take actions. Together, they can stop wildfires and bring back hope. Let's use our smart technology and our warm hearts to protect our forests, our families, and our one home, Earth. Thank you for giving us hope. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you to you and Jura. It was a great and inspiring message. Next, please welcome our second presenters to the stage, Kang Ji-hyung and Park Jun-won. The title of their speech is "The Earth is Our Classroom, Learning to Protect It, Starting with Fire." Please welcome with a big round of applause. Ready? Go.
Hey Jiyoung, do we really have to do the fire drill today? It's so boring. I'd rather play soccer.
I know, Junwon, but I think we should take it seriously.
Seriously? Why? It's just an exercise, not real.
Yesterday, my brother showed me a video. It was about a father and a son trying to escape from a forest fire. They were crying and shouting. God, please help us. The sky was orange, black smoke everywhere.
Wow, that sounds scary.
It was. I kept thinking, what if something like that happened to my family? It will be very scary.
Yeah, I didn't think like that before.
That's why today's fire drill is so important. It helps us stay calm and know what to do.
You're right, Jiyoung. Let's do it seriously.
Deal. And after that, we can play soccer. Ready?
Let's go! Good morning, everyone. My name is Junwon, and I'm a 6th grade student at Tokjang Elementary School.
And my name is Jihyung, also a 6th grade student at Parmar Elementary School. We are very happy to be here this morning.
To be honest, I didn't know much about forest fires. I never saw a real forest fire, so it didn't feel serious to me. When we prepared this speech, we learned much about forest fires. We get to know how scary they are.
When a forest fire starts, animals and plants in the forest die. If our house burns, we may have to live in a tent. We may not be able to study, and our dreams may disappear.
We also learned that global warming is one reason for forest fires. What can we do to stop forest fires? Today, we want to share one idea.
In school, we'll learn some subjects, science, sports, and many others. But we also need to learn how to love nature and how to protect it. We think we should have environment classes in school. Not only drawing posters, but learning real actions. For example, we can learn what blogging is first. After that, we can visit parks or mountains and try blogging together.
We can also learn about forest fires. And if we exercise fire drills, we will take them seriously.
So we believe that environment classes can change the world. The more we learn about forest fires, the more we can protect our Earth. Hey, Junwon,
Yeah?
the serious part is over. Wanna play soccer now?
Yes, from now on, I'll take fire drills seriously.
Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.
Jihyung and Juna, it was a great performance. Now, please welcome our third speakers, Jung Seung-min and Jung Seung-min. Yes, we have Seung-min duo today. The title of their speech is Stopping Wildfires Before They Start. Two simple ideas from middle school students. Ready? Go.
Good morning, respected members of Korea Wildfire Society. We are third grade students from Yongin-daedeok Middle School. My name is Jung Seung-min, and this is my partner, Jung Seung-min. Yes, we have the same name, so today we are Seung-min duo.
First, we want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart. We've learned how hard your association works every day to prevent wildfires and to protect forests and people. Your effort truly inspires us, the next generation. We found the fire is started by people, and the victims are always people. Therefore, we carry the greatest responsibility to stop wildfires. Today, as middle school students, we want to suggest two very simple but very powerful ideas from the youth perspective can start right now. The first idea is spark killer, meaning extinguishing mist.
It's a small spray bottle, a size of water bottle, filled with safe firefighting powder, ammonium phosphate. We can carry it in our backpacks when we go hiking, camping, or visiting grandparents' graves. If we see even tiny spark from trash burning or cigarette, we can put it out in 3 seconds before it becomes a monster fire. One small spray can stop a fire that would later need 100 firefighters and helicopters. We believe that if every student and every family carried this spark killer, thousands of wildfires will never even start.
Second idea is Green Shield Fire-Resistant Plant Project. Around our villages and towns, we plant fire-resistant trees that have lots of water inside and don't burn easily. We students can plant many trees with our families and friends. These green shields will act like natural walls that slow down fires and help firefighters more time and protecting our homes. It's not expensive, and it also makes our towns beautiful and safe too. Fire is afraid of our green shield. Let's plant it ourselves. Dear association members, we're still young, but we don't want to just watch another news about big wildfire. We want to act now. Please help us make the spray killer mist available in every school bag, and please join us planting the first green shield together. Thank you for listening. We are Seungmin Jo from Yongin Middle School. We are ready to fight wildfires with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Seungmin Jo. Your spark killer and green shield ideas were very creative. Finally, please welcome our last presenters, Jo Dan-bi and Kim Do-yoon. The title of their speech is Predict, Prevent, Protect, the AI Wildfire Prevention Map. Please welcome them with a big round of applause. Ready? Go.
Good morning, respected members of the Korea Wildfire Society. My name is Dan-bi Jo, and this is my partner, Do-yoon Kim. We are truly honored to speak today on the theme Wildfire Response, Now It's Science. Today, we would like to talk about how AI can stop massive wildfires before they even start.
You remember the Uiseong wildfire in 2025 in Korea. It was a disaster. It took 149 hours to extinguish, injured many people, and caused over $100 million in damage. This disaster taught us a painful lesson. Modern wildfires are getting faster and more dangerous because of climate change and strong winds.
What do you think the biggest problem is? We missed the golden time for early response. We react after the fire begins. It's too late for fast-moving flames. So we asked ourselves a question. What if we could predict the danger before a fire begins? To answer this, we created the AI Wildfire Prevention Map.
This map shows high-risk areas in real time using colors. To make this map, we first collect detailed forest data. First, drone lidar scans the forest in 3D and measures tree density and terrain. Second, drone lidars scans the forest in measures temperature, humidity, and soil moisture in real time. With this information, the AI analyzes all this data and marks the most dangerous spots in red. We call these places hotspots.
When a hotspot is detected, the system can automatically start early prevention actions. For example, robotic grass cutters remove dry vegetation and ground sprinklers spray water before the fire begins. It also gives firefighters quick and accurate strategies so they can respond faster.
The idea is simple but revolutionary. Stop fires before they start. By predicting danger early, we can save lives, homes, and entire forests. Right now, no country in the world has a complete real-time prevention system like this. This means Korea could develop a new leading technology for wildfire prevention. As climate change makes fires bigger and faster every year, we can no longer just react, but we must predict and prevent.
Our AI wildfire prevention map can reduce wildfire damage and protect both nature and people. What we are suggesting today is not just a new tool, it is a new way to protect our future.
If we choose to act now, we can prevent disasters before they begin.
Thank you so much for listening.
We are ready to build a fire-safe Korea with all of you.
Thank you, Auntie and Korea. It was a very impressive information. This is the end of speech session. We would like to say thank you to the Korea Forest Fire Society for inviting us to share our messages about protecting the environment and preventing wildfires. Once again, thank you to everyone for joining us today. Together, we'll create a safer future. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 정말 네. 다음은 오늘 지금 영어 스피치 하신 학생들에게 표창장을 좀 주려고 합니다. 표창장을 수여를 하고 점심 식사를 하도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 우리 먼저 감사장 전달부터 좀 진행을 하겠는데요. 네, 감사장은 우리 통번역단 이사장님이신 최성현 이사장님 먼저 앞으로 나오셔서 전당기를 올라주시면 감사하겠습니다. 네, 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 감사장 국제통번역자원봉사단 이사장 최성현 귀하는 사단법인 한국 산불 학회가 주최하는 2025년 축제학술 대회 영어 스피치 프로그램 운영에 귀한 도움을 주시어 행사의 성공적인 개최에 크게 이바지하였습니다. 이에 감사의 뜻을 표합니다. 2025년 10월 27일 한국 산불 학회장 고기현 대도. 다음은 표창장 수여가 있겠습니다. 내동초등학교 현지호, 기인초등학교 김주하, 그리고 벌말초등학교 강지형, 박준원 학생까지 앞으로 올라오시면 되겠습니다.
강지영 군은 미국에서 찾아왔나?
네, 표창장. 귀하는 한국 산불 학회가 주최하는 2025년 추기학술 대회에 국제 통번역단 청소년 대표로 참가해서 우리들에게 살림 자연을 지켜주세요라는 영어 에세이 스피치를 성공적으로 발표하고 대회를 빛내준 공로가 인정된 걸로 이에 표창합니다. 2025년 11월 27일 한국 산불학회 회장 고기현 대도. 김주아 학생. 네, 이하 내용은 같습니다. 중학교 김지영 학생. 이하 내용은 같습니다. 고등학교 박준원 학생. 이하 내용은 같습니다. 네, 다음은 용인 대덕중학교 정승민. 네, 네. 죄송합니다. 다음은 용인 대덕중학교 정승민 학생, 그리고 용인 대덕중학교 조단비 김도윤 학생, 네 분 올라오시면 됩니다. 네, 표창장 용인 대덕중학교 정승민, 이하 내용 같습니다. 용인 대덕중학교 정승민 학생, 네, 이하 내용 같습니다. 용인 대덕중학교 조단비 학생, 네, 이하 내용 같습니다. 네, 마지막으로 용인 대덕중학교 김도윤 학생, 이하 내용 같습니다. 단체 사진 찍겠습니다.
자, 여기 한번 보시겠습니다.
시간이 길어졌어요. 오후에 발표할 내용에 대해서 아이들에게 가이드를 주는 것 같아요. 너무 의미가 있고요. 네, 짧은 시간 내에 준비해서 그렇지만 다음에 미래 그리고 할
네, 이것으로 오전 세션을 모두 마치도록 하겠습니다. 일단 점심 식사 안내가 있는데 식당 장소가 좀 멀었어요. 책자에 보시면 73페이지에 식당 장소가 안내가 되어 있습니다. 지금 현 위치에서 정문 쪽으로 이동을 하셔야 됩니다. 정문 쪽으로 걸어서 한 350m 정도 이동을 하시면 네, 100주년 기념관 4층에 이룸 라운지라고 있습니다. 명찰 안에 보시면 10권이 다 들어있거든요. 10권을 이용하셔서 식사를 하시면 되겠고요. 13시 30분에 이곳에서 다시 구두 발표 세션을 진행하도록 하겠습니다.